Hi, this is Rich from Wormico. Your worm farm is a bustling little ecosystem, but just like any garden, it can attract some unwanted guests. In this video, we'll look at the most common worm bin baddies, what they do, and how to keep them out of your worm tower. Let's start with the serious threats. The hammerhead worm is a predatory flatworm that eats other worms. It's also impossible to kill. If you cut it in half, each piece can grow into another new worm. Its slimy coating is toxic to touch, and it's poisonous to pets or wildlife if eaten. Luckily, it's rare and mostly a problem that occurs in in-ground worm bins. Most above-ground worm towers are raised and sealed, making them far less likely to attract these invaders. Other predators like centipedes, lizards, and frogs may also find worms tasty. The solution? Keep your lid on tight so they can't get in. Fruit flies, fungus gnats, and black scavenger flies love to lay their eggs in damp food scraps. To keep them out, always bury the food and then cover the surface with a layer of carbons such as a mix of shredded cardboard, cocoa coir, and sugarcane mulch. Burying food will reduce flies being attracted to the surface, and the carbon layer will create a barrier on top that makes it harder for them to lay their eggs. If flies have already laid eggs in the substrate, then make a simple tea from neem seed cake or mosquito bits. Then spray the tea over the top surface of the bin, which will kill off the larvae before they hatch. Following this, top up with a thick layer of dry carbons to prevent access and break the cycle. Sometimes you'll see mites crawling around your bin. In small numbers, they're harmless, but large populations usually mean the balance is off. One main reason that mites appear is due to the presence of too much food in the bin. If worms can't keep up, then mites will take over in order to break down those food scraps. The solution is to stop feeding, bury any food that's on the surface, and add additional bedding such as a mix of shredded cardboard, cocoa coir, and sugarcane mulch. Mites also love moisture and humidity, so it's important to keep your bin ventilated. Make sure the lid has plenty of vent holes or temporarily remove it to reduce the humidity and condensation in the top tray. Mites are attracted to acidic conditions, so sprinkling ground eggshell powder to buffer the pH and mixing in extra carbon bedding will help. Remember, a healthy worm bin is about balance. If one species takes over, it's time to adjust moisture, bedding, and feeding. If your bin is indoors, be careful about adding dry leaves or garden debris from outside. They can carry insect eggs or small hitchhikers. Common tag-alongs include roly-polies, millipedes, slugs, and small snails that thrive in damp, compost-rich environments. While they're generally harmless, they can multiply quickly inside a worm bin. Ants can also find their way in, especially if the bin gets too dry. To stop ants, place each leg of the stand in a small dish of water to create a simple barrier and increase moisture in the bin. Rodents are another risk, so it's best to keep your worm bin indoors or on a raised table where rats and mice can't get access. Invasive worm species like the jumping worm can sneak in if you add soil or worms from the garden or your compost pile. They may even hitch a ride on garden tools. These worms multiply rapidly and can outcompete your composting worms for food, causing the original population to decline. Another uninvited guest is the black soldier fly larva. These grubs are actually useful in breaking down waste, but if they move into your bin, they'll eat through food scraps so quickly that your worms are left behind. Yet another common but unwanted guest is the potworm. These little guys naturally live in soil and love very wet, humid, and acidic conditions. In this type of environment, compost worms slow down, but potworms thrive and might rapidly increase in numbers. All of these invaders can throw off the balance of your system, so it's best to prevent them from entering in the first place. However, not every critter is bad. There are some, such as springtails, that help break down material. But if you notice large numbers of any one creature, that's a warning sign. reduce feeding, add more bedding, and improve ventilation in the system, you'll find that small adjustments can quickly bring your worm bin back into balance. Okay, so hopefully you haven't been scared off too much by now. While it's true there are quite a few worm baddies lurking around, understanding these threats and following a few simple best practices will keep your worm bin in top condition and your worms safe from harm. Found something interesting in your bin? Feel free to drop a comment below, and if you would like to see more videos in this series, then please like and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next video.